Hey there, connoisseurs. It's Rod with Pow Group. Welcome back on The Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ Stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. Also, the channel that was created by a retail investor for retail investors and home to the best MJ community. It is Wednesday, October 2nd. Happy hump day. Hope you're doing well. And in this video, we're going to take a look at Canopy Growth stock, specifically CGC. We had another pretty big pump and then classic MJ fade. So I've been saying that CGC is probably one of the weakest of the week in terms of technicals, and we should be expecting a little bit more of downside from here, and we had a daily bear flag target. We came just over 3% away from that, so we'll bring that up and I'll give my thoughts and opinions on that and the price action in the days, weeks, months ahead. Before we do, make sure to smash the like. If you're new, you can subscribe, tick the bell, all that good stuff. You'll be notified on any future videos or when I go live. And as always, this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. And you should never buy or sell anything based on anything that I say or write. Also, you can follow us over on X, formerly Twitter. Handle for that is @GroupPow. Going to be using that as my platform of choice going forward. And full disclosure, I did buy some CGC today, so I hold CGC. You can check it out in my MJ portfolio. I just posted an update on my MJ portfolio a few weeks ago with percentages, so you can check that out. And I nibbled a little bit today on Canopy in my long-term no-touch account. And if we take a look at the daily time frame here, and I know a lot of people are getting frustrated, and we have so many positive catalysts, things that are happening in the sector. We're just not seeing prices reflect any of this positive momentum. And I think it's just very simple. It's just MJ is not top of mind right now for investors or people in general, right? Eventually, when the next bull cycle comes, it's going to be epic because we've been in an almost 4-year bear market. But we just have to wait for boom and bust cycles. We have to wait for this bust cycle to conclude and enter a new bull cycle, and we have to wait for big tech to top out. And I'm talking, AI, EVs, crypto, the Magnificent Seven, etc. Once those all start to top out and enter a bear market, then I think MJ is going to bottom out and enter a bull market. That's what happened in 2017, 2018. When MJ went on its monumental run and Canada legalized. So I think something very similar is going to happen. We just need to wait for MJ to become popular again. Mainstream media isn't pumping it, right? And there's just other focuses and even, precious metals and stuff like that, right? Like we've got geopolitical tensions rising across the world in the Middle East specifically. And you can see gold hitting new all-time highs and silver catching a decent bid here. It goes to show you that it's just not top of mind for investors right now, but tides will turn and we eventually will see MJ. A lot of that money rotation out of those other sectors will rotate somewhere. That money has to go somewhere. And I think MJ is going to be a very attractive sector over the next few years and could be one of the best performing, if not the best performing sector. If we take a look at the daily time frame here, I mentioned a few times that we had multiple bear flags. So we had one on the shorter term time frame on the hourly that was reached. That was 434 and we hit a low of 425. And then we have this daily bear flag here with the high, low, lower high, very weak bounce, didn't even get above the 0.236, let alone the 0.382. And then once we came down and lost support there at 506, that confirmed the bear flag. And we just take our measured move from the high to the low. We move it out to our 0.382 fib, and there gives you your measured move of 411. So we hit, like I said, the low there at 425. So from the low of 425 to that measured move, we're about 3% away, just about 3% away. We could be seeing an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross at some point over the next week or so as well. So it's looking like we could be bottoming out here. We have a bit of an inverse head and shoulders forming here on the daily time frame as well. But again, we could see a little bit more downside down to that 411, maybe even a slight flush of $4, and then a pretty sizable move. And we've got, I think, 32 days before the election. So we're really going to start to see them pump MJ, in my opinion, leading into the elections. I think Florida's going to pass. So we just have to be patient. And like I said, CGC is very weak. It's in a weekly downtrend. It's another weekly bear flag actually now. If we go from the high to the low there, you can see that this is a weekly bear flag. And we'll just get a quick measure move here. So it's saying 310. So we have to be ready for all scenarios, right? We very well could drop down to sub $4 and into the threes. And it's really going to depend on the broader market. So the S&P 500, etc. Right? So depending on how much downside we see there, I mean, SPY is still extremely strong. So there's no major red flags whatsoever, but we're not set up well in MJ, specifically on CGC, if SPY were to correct 5-10% on mounting tensions in the Middle East, etc. Right? But overall, I'm very bullish. Could be another week or two of downside, but then, probably 10, 20 days before the election, I think they're really going to start to pump MJ, and that's going to benefit names like CGC because they're listed on the NASDAQ and US major exchange, and it's one of the first names that people are going to go buy. We also had a stochastic and the MACD very bearish. We still have yet to see any real change there. That we're still trading well below the 10-week moving average, dropping to weekly lower lows. We're back below all of our weekly moving averages, and we're nowhere near seeing those cross bullish. And we just had a death cross. That's why I was also confident that we're going to see this daily bear flag of 411 more than likely hit, because of the fact that the death cross was happening, the 50-day above the 200-day moving average. When those cross, that's bearish. And as a result, price has been seeing lower lows. So like I said, over the next week or two, I think we're going to bottom out. Again, I'm not telling you to buy, sell, or hold. I did nibble a little bit today on CGC. It's my long-term no-touch account, so I'm not selling that until the U.S. legalizes it at the federal level. And we were talking about it in the Pow Group private community today. Someone said, I think it was Andy, he said if it goes up 200%, long-term no touch turns into taking profit at 200+%. But if you think about it, from where we are right now to 200% higher, that would only put us around, what was it, $13? Yeah, so around $13.30. And if we zoom out to the monthly time frame and go from the all-time high to $13.30, and this is factoring in post-split as well, that means we're still down about 97%. So even if we rally 200% from here, we'd still be down 97% from the all-time highs. So no, I won't be taking any profit in my long-term no-touch account. And keep in mind that my longer-term no-touch is a lot less money. So, I'm not here for 200% gains in my long-term account. I'm talking like 20, 50x, 100x, right? That's sort of why I'm here. But we do have an inverse head and shoulders here on the monthly time frame forming as well on CGC. So it's not all hope is lost. I don't think that, CGC's gonna go bankrupt or anything like that. I'm getting a lot of questions about that again. But, ultimately they're still on track to acquire acreage that got delayed. So it's probably not going to be until spring of 2025, maybe even the summer. And then we should get some insight into those financials after the fact. And they just got Wana and Jetty as well. So, nothing has really changed here from the core thesis perspective. I think CGC is going to be one of those names that does stand the test of time and survive long term. That just doesn't mean, we're going to go to the moon tomorrow just because there's news catalysts. It's unfortunate. It's frustrating. But believe me, whenever the real move comes, when we have a sustained move to the upside that lasts, it's going to be epic, and we're going to see God candles like you wouldn't believe, because there's just been so many catalysts that are brewing and, just kind of building, and we're just not seeing it in the price because MJ just isn't popular right now. And as the saying goes, the stock market is a popularity contest. And right now there's just no mainstream media coverage. Nobody's talking about MJ stocks. In fact, it's still very low sentiment. So until we have big tech, crypto, I think it's that simple. Just wait for big tech, crypto, AI, etc. to top out. And once they enter a bear market, then I think MJ is going to enter its new bull cycle. Going into it there, though, let me know what you think of this. Do you think we're going to see another leg down? I think, we're going to have a bunch of catalysts here back to back. Florida likely approved rescheduling. There was some news out, top Democrats, congressional Democrats trying to urge the DEA to reschedule ASAP and consider full-blown descheduling. So things are heating up in a big way. We just have to be patient. Going into it there, it's Rod with Pow Group. Thanks again for joining us in the Pursuit of Wealth, and we'll see you again on the next video.